Hello everyone, welcome back. So you can see I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and today I'm going to be showing off General Grievous and General Kenobi, or Obi Wan Kenobi, whatever they have him called in this game. Yeah, I'll be doing the instant action, just so I can, actually wrong one, I'm going to be doing the arcade, just so I can set the parameters. Yeah, let's set the eliminations to 999, that won't take forever. Yeah, I'll do 50. 50 be enough time to show it off. Yeah, I'll be doing heroes only, so I'll be able to just choose whoever I want. And that way I can just click on Grievous and be like, hey, there he is. And then just show him off. Yeah, and Geonosis, obviously, is the new map they added to this whole Clone Wars expansion, which was completely free. I will give them credit. They've done a lot of free updates for this game. So, you know, good on them. They did well. EA in the past, especially in the original Battlefront that they made, they did not do so well. But I will say they were corrected ship for the most part on this one. And the visuals, of course, they look great. So for the most part, this game is enjoyable. EA gets a lot of crap, but with this and Fallen Order, you know, good job. Good job on those. As you can see, it also added the droidicas, which I may also show off at a later date. But for right now, I will just use Grievous. As you can see, very intimidating. Yeah, I'll go ahead and go over his abilities here. You have the passive ability, health on elimination, regains health when he kills people. Very self-explanatory. You have LB, does thrust surge. General Grievous lunges forward, stabbing his enemies as he pins them down. And then you have unrelenting advance. Grievous ignites 4 lightsabers, deflecting attacks and inflicting damage on anyone foolish enough to challenge him. Then you have claw rush. Dropping to a crawl, Grievous scrambles forward, damaging his enemies as he drives them back, which is very creepy looking when you do it. See, like that right there. Also helps you run a lot faster. Oh, you are foolish, clone trooper. Just standing there, let me kill you. So yeah, that was a little crawl ability. Alright, where are you fools? Yeah, they put a lot of detail into these games. They're very good in that respect. And you can cancel that early, too, in case you ever need to. Ah, you must die. Yeah, he might have been a little too broken if he had all 4 active at all times. But that would have been cool as well. So that's how they had it in the original Battlefront 2. Yeah, the first one, you couldn't even play as the heroes. A lot of people forget the first Battlefront is about on par with the first Battlefront that EA did. Because they have about the same amount of features. Granted, they did not have the Galactic... What is that? Galactic Conquest, I think it was called. But as far as features go, it was like playing as heroes. I don't even know if they had space battles, now that I think back to it. So I mostly just played... I played the first one briefly until the second one came out. So actually, funny enough, I remember when the second one came out, it was in... they had a DVD of it. Or not a DVD. They had a demo of it in the DVD of Revenge of the Sith. So I remember I was already obviously going to get that DVD anyway, and the fact that they had the demo in there, I was like, oh my god, I have to play it. Actually, you know what? I can't even remember how they did that. I don't know if it was just a, if it was like, it might have just been an extra disc now that I think about it. It might have been like a PS2 demo, and it just came in like an extra disc. It's like how you get a Blu-ray and a DVD in the same box. It was probably like that. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I'm just getting blasted here. Need to get to a tactical retreat. Coming in. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's definitely... It's very cool to see him in action. He was one of my favorite characters from the prequels. He's more fleshed out in the Clone Wars. He didn't really... Not a crazy amount of screen time in the movies. But yeah, every time he was on screen, especially when he brings out the 4 sabers for the first time, I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. I can't even remember what was it? Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, so I don't even remember how young I was. What, around 13? I can't even remember. That's a spoiler. You can't. I'm not finished with the Clone Wars. he just said this will be easier than Dathomir. It's like I only know about that from. Actually, they have a little mobile game that I've played in that too. But what was it? Fallen Order. You go to Dathomir. You can actually go there pretty early, even though you wouldn't really want to. So I remember it showing up on the map, where it's like, I think on the first time you can travel planets in that game, it shows Dathomir, but no one ever mentions needing to go there, so I just avoided it for like the first 2 planets. And then when I went there, because I wanted to see what was on there, I just got my ass kicked by all the aliens there. So, very hostile planet. Very, very fitting to the theme. Yeah, the first time I heard about it was in that mobile game. It's like the Galaxy of Heroes, I think is what it's called. You must die. Stay back. Oh, okay. I don't know what you would call that. I was about to say they stunned me, but that's not right. Staggered me, probably. Used up all of my stamina. Oh. Man, they are really just blasting me here. I don't know how I'm supposed to fight back when I run down my stamina like that. I guess I'm not supposed to. You must die, clone trooper. Yeah. Oh, you fools. You know what? That didn't really deflect that well. I was trying to deflect them back to the clone troopers. But yeah, that was not working for me. It's a good thing I set the starting time to 10 minutes because I can't find any of them. That was one thing that always annoyed me about this mode before you could make custom rules. Is that you would... Oh, what the hell was... Oh, a Geonosian flew by. I was like, when the hell did clone troopers get the ability to do that? Coming to cut you down. Yeah. That is a really telegraphed attack. You can't really change course once you're doing it. Alright, where are these clones at? Do I just need to wait here for you? Is that how it's going to be? They might actually be trying to chase me, and I just keep trying to find them, and in turn, just running in circles. It's about how easily he'd be able to dispatch clones. Yeah, he is a very menacing-looking character. If I was a clone trooper and I saw this, I would just give up. I'd be like, you know what, no. I know the Republic needs defending and all that, but this guy has 4 lightsabers. There's really... I mean, what can I do? It's just the end of that. Yeah. Slice you down. Yeah, I actually want to replay Republic Commando again. I haven't played very far into that game, so I want to pick that back up. The only problem is there's so many games right now that I need to catch up on, so it's just kind of taking a back seat to all the others. Whoa, okay. There's no better way I could have ended that. Just came out of the run and flip kicked him into the wall. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, this scene right here just reminded me of when Boogie was playing through. And he was like, oh, you've been having too much fun. No more credits for you. I don't know if they still do that, but if they do, that's kind of annoying. Where it's like they, I think it was after maybe 4 or 5 matches, they cut you off on how many credits you can earn. And you had to wait like an hour and a half, like a damn mobile game that you spent $60 on. So hopefully they have turned that around, because that'd be annoying if that's still there. Alright, let's move on to Obi Wan here. As you can see, powerful as ever. Got a proper stance. Alright, let's go over his abilities. Health on elimination, same as Grievous. Don't really need to dive into that one. You have All-Out Push, which is the lessons of the Jedi mantra inspire Obi-Wan to resolve conflict without emotion, pushing back his attackers, and extending his reach. So basically just force push. They didn't really need all that. Then you have Restrictive Mind Trick. A Jedi's mastery of the Force can influence the weak-minded, and in the case of Master Kenobi, even subvert his enemy's desire to dodge his attacks and use their abilities against them. So that's pretty interesting. And then you have Defensive Rush. Obi-Wan demonstrates his bravery by surging towards any enemy foolish enough to cross his path, deflecting blaster fire as well as choosing to deliver a final strike at any time. May the Force be with us all. So yeah, as you can tell by his abilities, slightly more of a defensive character, as most of the Jedi are, aside from Anakin. And he's just kind of a Jedi. Temporary Jedi, I should say. You know, it's funny, speaking of Anakin, when I was a kid, I actually didn't even know until the 3rd movie that he was Darth Vader. Because I watched, you know what, I might have watched the prequels first completely, I'm not entirely sure. Because I definitely saw, oh, he actually deflects it. So maybe Grievous just doesn't have that until he has the ability. Which I guess would make sense, because he's not a Jedi, so I don't think he'd be that good at deflecting laser bolts. So yeah, checks out there, actually. But yeah, I didn't even know until the 3rd movie when they were fighting and it was called Revenge of the Sith. I was like, wait a minute, why are they fighting? My brother was like, yeah, he's Darth Vader. I was like, what? I had no idea. And I think I might have even found out first because I found a little metal figure of Darth Vader that said Anakin Skywalker on it. And it was an old one, like from the... might have either been Empire or Return of the Jedi. Like a figure from that long ago, back in the 70s. So it said Anakin Skywalker on it, and I was like, wait a minute, Anakin Skywalker? And I think that's when I brought it to my brother, and I was like, wait, why does it say Anakin Skywalker? And he was like, yeah, he's Darth Vader. I was like, what? I had no idea. Which kind of would have changed my perspective on the original 2 movies if I knew he was Darth Vader the whole time. Because obviously there's some foreshadowing in there, but unless you know for a fact that Anakin's Darth Vader, you don't really put 2 and 2 together. Until the 3rd movie. Obviously, I figured it out before the Darth Vader scene. But yeah, it was just all kind of sparked I was like, wait a minute, why are they fighting? And it all just kind of came together in that moment. Whoa, that just killed them. It's not very Jedi-like. That's also what I found very funny about the Jedi, is that they're like, they're very like peacekeepers, and we don't start conflicts, we just, fight back. But when they're fighting, they do it pretty damn aggressively. I mean, they're using lightsabers, they have force powers, like in this case, they just completely kill droids, which I've never quite understood, because they do it in the prequel movies too, where they'll push droids over and they just die instantly. Doesn't really seem to be what push is all about. It's not like push and crush skull, it's just push. So I don't know why it kills droids. But yeah, you'd think the Jedi would be a lot more defensive than that. But like a lot of games, like Fallen Order, for instance, he is just like Dark Souls level aggressive, which obviously it's like a Souls-like game, so makes sense. But he'll just stab people through the heart, do a cross slash, get around behind them, slash their spine. It's like, Jesus, you're a Jedi, right? And even the Force powers, like they call it a grasping pull in the Jedi Order, which is basically just Force choke. I mean, it might as well be. Because you grab their whole body and pull them towards you. Granted, you're not choking them, but I would suggest that is a very aggressive way to use the Force. So I thought the whole point with the Jedi is that they're supposed to be more restrained and calculated. And the dark side, like lightning, for instance, is very damaging to the Force itself, so they don't like doing stuff like that. Which I think is like the main difference between the Jedi and the Sith as far as using the Force goes. Is that the Sith don't really care about the Force, so they just kind of like corrupt it and use it harshly. So if you imagine the Force, as they said, I don't know if it's been retconned or not, I would imagine it's still part of the canon, how it's like a living Force. Which I think that part was fine. I think it was the midichlorians that people care about. But yeah, the fact that it's a living Force, the Jedi just kind of like use it to their, like they use it as like an extension of themselves. They don't really try to control the Force. Whereas the Sith are more Force choke and all of that, and lightning. It's very destructive to the Force itself. So I think that's like the main difference between the two. But even still, like if you do a very powerful Force push, or you use the Force to pick up a rock and crush somebody's head with it, I would say that's using it in a pretty negative way. But it's kind of, it's not nearly as negative as like lightning or choking somebody, but I don't know. I would say they're pretty damn close. Too close to really act all high and mighty about it. They're close enough to where the Jedi doesn't really have, a big foot to stand on there. Oop. Mind trick you. Just sneak up behind. Oh, alright. That worked. I'm going to use the defensive rush since I haven't done that this whole time. Yeah, a little side rant there. Yeah. Slice through. Just mostly been force pushing people. You fools. You dare come after a Jedi? Yeah, in summary, Star Wars is cool. Not really what I was going for there, but kinda... Yeah. I'm gonna try to do a fancy strike. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, granted, even though they're kind of similar, they obviously have their differences, but if the Force is real, I would for sure be using the dark side of it. Not that I'm like inherently evil or anything, it's just that they just have cooler powers. It's like, okay, you can either push a rock out of the way, or you can create lightning from your hand. Which one do you want? It's like, yeah, I'll take the lightning. Because you can also just force choke a rock if you wanted to and just throw it. You don't need the Jedi to learn stuff like that. Pretty much the Sith have most of the Force powers that the Jedi have, but then they have more destructive versions of it. Like, obviously the Jedi are, they have Force healing and stuff like that. The shielding, all of those kind of Force powers that are more defensive. So they don't have that. They do have the ability to drain Force, though. which is like their form of healing. But again, a very negative power. However, still would be cooler. I would still prefer to shoot lightning from my hand. But yeah, anyway, that was General Grievous and Obi Wan, and then a lot of random talk that had nothing to do with either of them. Don't know what's next. Probably Anakin and Count Dooku. We'll see how I feel if I'll go through that again. But yeah, that's it for now. Don't know what's up next, but hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in whatever comes out next.